How do you learn who you really are? It's not found in books. It's found on the battlefield.
But whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Welcome back, Battlefield of the Mind. So this may or may not be a podcast. If you're listening to it, I'm hanging out with J.R. Harvey. I'm hanging out with my buddy Jordan Shelton, a.k.a. Stacks. And so we're just hanging out today. And so if you guys want to be a part of a conversation, there's just three cool guys. We're having pretty cool conversation. Welcome. One thing I do want to say, too, it's very cool is I know Jordan listens to a lot of podcasts. So, Jordan, you'll be listening to your own today. So that's going to be really fun. You're going to be listening back to your own episode.
Definitely bucket list event happening right here. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
It's awesome. And then J.R. Harvey, he's been on before, the leader of the Kings community. And you can find him on Instagram, all the things. Do all the things, right?
All the things.
He does all the things. You guys know what all the socials are.
I'm not on OnlyFans yet, but I'm working on it.
All of the things. But we were talking, I've got a third book that I finished. And so we were talking about these books. And I was going through Proverbs and just going through just some stuff that are like aphorisms, things to think about. And we went through a whole bunch of the paradox ones and we're just talking. And it's like, maybe we should just record this. So I'm in the love category right now. And we'll just drop a couple just to think about. Some of them you may be like, wow, that's really deep. Or some of them may be like, that's stupid. Or some of them may be like, oh shit, that's me. And kind of fun just to listen to us just go back and forth and just stuff we're going through, and knowing us three will end up off the rails at some point. So that should be fun.
This is fine.
So it'll be good. All right. Here's where I stopped. So we started getting into like whenever anybody wants to, like if you have to fight or you want to fight somebody that you love, you guys have both already lost. You don't need to fight someone that you love. Then it got into the element. Here's where I'm at now. To give love makes you wealthy. It's ironic. Again, this is one of those things where like, no, I'm giving love, not I need to get love so I can be rich or wealthy. No, to give is how you become wealthy in love. This is the backwards thing, how society is today. People think that I need to get, what about me? What about my needs? What about me? No, if you really want to be wealthy in love, be a giver. And that's how you become wealthy. You guys are like, hey, seems like the doctors concur.
I can give a real life example of this. I was living in my car one time. I was saving up, trying to get an apartment, and I had several opportunities at that time to be giving and to be serving of others. And like these opportunities would just present themselves. You know, I'm homeless at the time, and I would park my car in the morning and get a cup of coffee or something, just sit there for a couple of hours, you know, and you know, a guy would pull up next to me and he needed a jump. It's like, hey, man, can you help me out? It's like, absolutely, I can. You know, a guy come walking in, and you could tell he was going through a hard time. And like, I don't have money to give, but I did feel compelled, like, hey, get that guy a cup of coffee. Just talk to him for a minute. And I did. And like, this happened, you know, time after time after time. And I think in that point in my life is where I kind of learned the value of like, you know, I might not be like financially in the best place, but I'm just like spiritually wealthy. Like my heart is full. And the more that I would just give and be of service, I was like, man, like I feel great. Like I'm not worried. God's got me. This is good.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And you feel it because I give first.
Yeah.
Like I think we could all just do examples of this one because I love our people so much. Like the givers that give, like that's where the love comes from. And so a lot of people like today they're takers, man. The boys and the girls, not the men and the women. Boys and girls are takers. And so you can be a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old taker. You can still be a boy or a girl, mature wise. And so people who really understand love understand to give. And so if you really want to make sure the relationship stays strong, stop worrying about what I'm going to get and start really being a person who just loves to give.
I couldn't agree more.
So that's how you become wealthy. That's really where the wealth of our purpose comes from. Here's one. To love is hard and scary, and to hate is easy and alluring.
That couldn't be more true in today's society. It's so easy to hate. I'm tempted to hate all the time. I do. I mean, part of big for me with the social media stuff, like I'm searching for videos sometimes to hate on them a little bit. And I'm like, and I'm catching myself. I'm like, should I really be hating on these people? Should I really? I have to pull myself out of it sometimes. Like it's so alluring and it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
It could not be easier. Like you look at what's going on right now with I don't know if you guys know who Joey Swole is,
I don't know
but
anything.
there's a huge controversy in the fitness industry where Hulk Hogan just passed away, right? And I don't know what the deal is, but apparently he said some extremely like racist things or something in the past. So everyone is like, good, fuck Hulk Hogan, right? Which is messed up. Like everyone's hating on Hulk Hogan. And Joey Swole is this huge fitness influencer, millions upon millions of followers, like massive, massive. And he posts a video from a long time ago of him wearing a Hulk Hogan, just showing like homage, like, dude, this guy was an icon. Like, I loved this guy. And everyone, this is also a guy, Joey Soul, he's built his whole platform on finding people that are doing like kind of shitty things in the gym, like judging others or doing things, and he'll hate on them. He'll critique, he puts them on blast. And sometimes you're like, rightfully so. And sometimes you're like, I don't know, you kind of went a little hard on that. But his whole platform was built on kind of critiquing and hating on people that are doing somewhat shitty things in the gym. And here it is, like full circle. He's receiving the exact same treatment that he has given so many people to build his platform. Like his whole platform is built on that. And now he's receiving the tail end of it. And he makes a post today. Hey guys, I'm quitting. Like I'm done. Like this has been great. I'm out.
So he flights, he runs away. So as long as he's hating others, like and subscribe. But if anybody hates me, I'm gonna bail.
Yes.
He's gonna run and hide. That's funny.
The problem,
Yes.
So if I hate you, like and subscribe. But if you hate me, I'm gonna hide.
The problem with
Joey Swole.
The problem with hating is like it feels good for a minute, and it's never been easier because I think that everybody is so afraid of genuine, authentic connection and just being who they are that we've never been more disconnected. And so it's so easy to combine like, yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, that band sucks. Like, man, you see how hard that guy failed? Like, check it out. At least we're not failing.
Thinking and empathy are very difficult. That's why people will judge instead. And so to go into judgment and hatred as this form of some sort of reputation demolition or social demolition to try to improve some sort of status in yourself really shows that I'm the crab who's pulling you down. This shows you like the only people who really enjoy doing hatred are people who are hurting. So whenever I see somebody who wants to just spread hate, I can usually tell that you're not okay. Happy people don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a really big indicator because I have so much hate in our comment section. We did a video on that where I'm like, you're not getting me. I just get you now. You're not okay. Because only a hurt person would want to share this much hatred in a comment section. That means you're not all right. You know, and so you guys aren't exposing me. You're exposing you. And so for these kinds of people who go, I can sure dish it out all damn day, but it's my turn to take it. I run away and I quit. It just exposed the circumstance, revealed you to yourself. It showed you. I'm like, well, thanks for showing who you are. Hate is easy for you. But if you want to be able to have, like, actually, like, be strong in who you are, be convicted in your accountability, own things that are true and love, and like try and be somebody who's authentic and genuine and open and vulnerable, and try and be somebody who can handle your own fucking behavior because you don't want to be on the receiving end of your own justice system shows you a reality check of who you the fuck are. In which case, to be able to be an open-hearted, loving person who can be empathetic towards whatever plight another person is doing, that's very difficult to do. And in fact, it's very scary to be vulnerable in that way. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide who I really am, hate others, so that way I can get everybody riled up in a hate circle. So that way none of us have to point out our insecurities or inadequacies because we're too busy pointing out another person's until it's my turn. And then delete, run away, suppress and hide, cry, surrender, freak out. Depression, anxiety.
Well, there's pills for that. So.
Oh, well then, yeah. Well then I'll just take pills and never ever have to be authentic or love.
You know, you said something in there really powerful. And I remember you gave a training on this one time and it hit me like a freight train. And it was something along the lines of, once you increase your awareness and once you start, killing curses, and you become healthier and whole, and your open heart side, you're more balanced out, that anger you used to feel for people when these injustices or insults or whatever would occur, it starts turning into sadness, because you see
Yes.
through the mask and you're like, man, like, that was really mean, but that person's not okay.
Yes.
Yeah, why do people do mean things? Those are hurt people.
Hurt people, hurt
Those
people,
are hurt people.
broken people trying to
Always.
break people.
Always. And it is very sad.
Yeah.
But there's also an aspect where it's like you have to protect yourself from hurt people,
Yes.
right?
Well, you don't have to join them.
Yes. That the comment section, I do not go in there. And anybody who makes content ever, I highly recommend stay out of there.
You know what's really funny is I think that you and I can both agree that it's one thing I give testament to is the people who do genuinely have good hearts out there will start to stand up for what is right these days. And so anytime I do go in the comment section, I see a Karen or Kyle who's in there who wants to just hate. Like somebody who's like, I'm just here just to spread hatred. No matter how good the message is, I'm going to be salty about it. There's always somebody else in there going, you're doing exactly what he said right now in the video. You're the problem. It's you. And so people are getting more vocal on like, stop talking about who is right and do what is right. And right now, your who is right is loud because you're doing exactly what the guy just talked about right now. And then you'll see that person triple down on hatred, even though everyone's doing exposure of your truth. It's a testament to the people out there, the warriors out there who are like, we're going to stop sitting around and letting the minority of hatred be the voice for all of us. And so testament to any of the warriors out there who go, how about we just start being human and cool again and stop letting the people who have the most hurt in their heart have the microphone all the time.
Yeah. And the problem is like, where is a person at in their life, mentally, spiritually, whatever, that they're investing hours of their time in the comment section of videos, right? Like how that is not going to lead to any fruitful things, like results wise in your life at all. Can't. Nothing comes from that. Nothing good comes. It's just more hate comes from that. That's all it is.
Well,
And I've been I've had to learn that the hard way of, I would see a comment, like a hateful comment or a comment disagreeing with the video. And it's like, there are some of them that I remember wasting a whole day thinking about how I should reply to them. Right. And even then I come up with the perfect answer. Do you think I changed their mind?
No.
Do you think I helped them in any way? And I certainly didn't help me.
No.
I just lost a whole day. I lost a whole day that I could have been making more videos or connecting with my family or impacting other men. Like I lost all of that because I got sucked into their hate.
It's an alluring thing. It's easy to get sucked into. I remember we did a video that was explaining the behavior. That's my theory on when you see somebody who gets triggered and they start doing adolescent or pre-adolescent behavior. This most likely is one of my indicators of where your authenticity was stunted by creating a persona that like, this is when I stopped being me. And so as soon as the veil is lifted and I'm having a trigger, now you're seeing the age that I stopped maturing authentically. Now I'm acting like a 12-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 14-year-old, whatever age I stopped being who I really am. And this is a theory that seems to hold true because you see a triggered behavior seem more childlike than adult-like in the way that they're handling situations. And so these are the things that we're seeing even in these comments and the stuff like this, is you start seeing like a trigger that'll get in there, and you just spent all day. And I had one the other day where I was talking on that video, and a guy said something that was funny to me. I actually didn't think it was triggering, but it was funny. But he said, "Sir, you will never enter Valhalla." Like one of those things, like I'm not a warrior and I'll never enter Valhalla. Like some kind of it was a funny, interesting joke for the Viking death element of it. But I was like, you make your initial snap back. Like in my head, I told Andrea when she said that, I'm like, well, that makes two of us then there, buddy. Like, I'm like, you and me both, I guess. But it's
You're
interesting.
telling me the keyboard warriors don't get to go to Valhalla?
Yeah, listen. And so it's very keyboard warriors don't make it to Valhalla. That's true. You can put that on a bumper sticker. But as far as it went, we were driving and we went by this like place that was like the Valhalla Hotel or some shit like that. And like it was in our head to be like, let's take a picture next to it and just put it in the comment section. Be like, looks like I made it to Valhalla.
That'd be so
Like
good.
it was just one of those ones, but it's a thing. And this is where like you'll see how alluring it is that that person's one kind of just bitch comment will stick to you, and you'll see things and it'll kind of just remind you of the hate that somebody had just thrown out there, which this guy probably lives a fucking pathetic lifestyle. Like you would look at this guy's life and go, nothing you do is an envy in my world. And yet you're going to come and try and say somebody who really goes into the depth of hell and pulls people out on a daily basis is going to have a judgment based from somebody who can't get out of his own mom's basement. Like you're going to be like, damn, that's the guy who's going to try and shit on the world. I'm like, you're really showing your true colors, but it's enough to make it so you it sticks in someone's mind still. It's a very alluring thing. It's so easy to fall into, but to be empathetic or compassionate to that kind of person or a person who's just trying to help and you want to knock them down, it shows how much hurt is just out there.
I would
And
agree.
so remember I told you too, it's the time that we're spending now in comment sections or even talking about hatred, which is what we're doing now, the irony, which is I'm happy to be with you guys because I fucking love you guys. And so it's one of those things where it's like most people will just be sitting there in the comment sections or the hate circle. And I talked about how much time we throw away from the people around you that you love, hating people that you don't even know or that don't even know you.
What
And this, whether it goes into social media or politics or whatever, it's
See
a
what
lot.
gets me on this is, and just being a part of the Warriors way, guys, they come in and they're hurt. Man, they have been through crazy situations, and out of their desperation, they're looking for mentors. They're looking for something to latch onto. And the unfortunate reality of kind of these social media and these red pill movements and the all the dating advices, they get lured in with a half truth, that really hits that trigger, that hits that hurt, that they're like, "Ooh, man, this happened to me. I think this guy's got something good to say." I'm connecting with this guy. And then it's this just terrible advice off of a wound. It's a lot of the red pill stuff it's like, well, let's train guys to just hate marriage. Let's train guys to just be resentful towards women. Let's train them to get money and chase status. Let's train them to just echo these meaningless endeavors. And let's
Please allow me to project all of my wounds onto you.
Yeah.
and it's
Now,
Remember I told you how projection is ironic.
yeah, and it
It's
fits the
funny
bill.
because I'm hurt and I'm not okay. I'm going to now promote hurting and not okay, or even promote hurting others because I'm not okay. And that makes it okay because, it happened to me, so I can do it to them. And that's a justice system. I hated being on the receiving end. And so I need to make sure I'm the one exhibiting or giving the justice out. So I need to be the one who's using people and hurting people and abusing people so that way they all know what it feels like when it happened to me. And I'm like, yeah, eye for an eye, man. Makes the whole world blind, right? Red pill is very funny with the contradictions that it does. Like it's the partial truths to create a manipulation of control through judgment. It's the same thing on all polarization. It's always the same. Whether you go into extreme feminism or MGTOW or anything that starts going into like the fuck all of you, it's always the same. You know enough that make it so you stop learning. You're a contradiction to yourself.
The control aspect is definitely heavy in a lot of this. I mean, it's you start seeing it everywhere. It's like, well, why do I
Yep.
have to play by your rules? Like,
Because I made up
you know
rules
what I mean? Because as
confidently.
long as I operate off your rules, you're going to be able to mitigate some type of embarrassment or hurt, that you're ultimately running from. And it's a trap. It's you've got a saying. It's like you're putting yourself in prison for protection.
Yeah, irony. So that's why I said this projection is ironic. It's because I'm hurting somebody in a way that I don't like to be hurt. That makes me good.
I love
It's
how
ironic.
I love how one sentence just sparked all that conversation. These are awesome.
Yeah, pretty good, right? Here's some ones that go the other direction. I got a few of them for fawning and a few other ones in here. Here's one that I really do believe. I think that love may be the purpose, not an action. People think they have to do love or be in a relationship so they have something, and they think it's something that I'm not doing enough of. It might just be the purpose of things, and it's a being action. And so I put out a challenge. I talked to you about this, and I had a love podcast that I'm doing next week. And so we'll be doing, because we have heart side training, we do couples training. And I really do believe that a majority of people alive have never actually been in love. They may think they will, and they'll argue because they're arguing because they don't know how to love. But to even want to argue shows how much you actually don't know what love is. People who actually know love wouldn't even argue because they would be like, no, I know deep, deep love. I think even the concept of wanting to argue or hurt with your partner shows me that you don't know how to love. This is a really difficult sentence to put on the table because Andrea and I used to fight like cats and dogs. We were just as doofusy as everybody else. And I've been in a lot of relationships, and she's been in relationships. She was even married before. And she'll tell you, she's like, we didn't know what love was. We weren't doing love before because our hearts were closed off. We weren't completely open with each other. And now that we have let each other into the very deepest element of who we really are, like she's deep, she's the deepest thing in my fucking soul. She's in there. It's her and God sitting right by each other. That's my Trinity. It's God, me, and my baby. Like that's my Trinity. And like that element of it, because of how deep I love her, there is not a soul in my body that wants to hurt her on purpose. There's not a part of me that wants to scream at her, call her a name, give her the silent treatment, harm her in any way. And she's the same way with me. We haven't fought now in coming up on 2 years. Like we don't fight with each other anymore because we fight together against everything. That is my person. And knowing that depth of love that we have now, I can confirm for a fact before this, I did not know how to love. I couldn't open my heart completely to somebody, and I didn't know how to put my heart back together enough to give a complete heart to somebody. And now that I do, oh my God, I can't even look at her with disdain or contempt. It's impossible because we work through everything together because that's how you really love someone. And I'm watching people today try to do love or get something from people or take things. And you're not meeting my needs and you're not doing what I want. And you need to start doing this and you're not doing that. And you need to take care of this. And people are all making demands and commands, and they call the control systems love, which is the exact opposite of love. And so I really would be hard pressed. 99% of the people that I've met in my life have never loved in their whole life. They may call it love, but they hurt people and they don't even love themselves enough to be able to like actually receive love. And if any of you are really fucking vicious to yourself, you don't know how to love you. So how the fuck can anyone else? You don't even know how to do it. They don't know how to love. This is a real thing for people to chew on. And I don't think that they'll enjoy it because their ego or their pride is probably already too strong on this conversation to go, I have love. I love my kids. I'm like, yeah, well, then why do you fucking hurt them? Why are you hurting your kids so fucking much if you love them? Why did you punish your kid instead of teach them? That's how you love? I'll go in on anybody. I'm like, you show me how you love. There's a lot of things that people do. And it's funny that people are mean to people they love because that's how they love. I'm like, that's not love.
But before I learned how to be a good father and kind of what connection was, and you know, I'm still young. I'm still learning. I'm not going to say that I can completely relate to what you're talking about, but I remember in my younger years, and especially in my kids' younger years, I spent a lot of time convincing myself internally that like I'm a good dad. I'm a good dad. It's like, man, it's like, why was that so hard to say to myself? And looking back and just taking accountability and looking on some of the behaviors and the things that I was taught and the things that I did, I was like, shit, man, like I wasn't a good dad. I wasn't a good partner. I wasn't a good husband. Like I wasn't a good friend a lot of the times. And, you know, I spent a lot of time trying to convince myself that I was, you know,
Yeah.
and it's heavy. Like what you're saying is true. You know, we think that, you know, by controlling this person, you know, I'm showing how I love. And you're right. You are. if you're lying constantly, about just small, minuscule things to try to mitigate somebody's feelings, like that's how you love.
That's how you love. Yeah, when you manipulate, you're a trickster, when you're lying and you're hurting and you're screaming and you're yelling and you're punishing and you're trying to put people down and you talk behind their back and you do very just fucking mean things, when you tear them down and you give them criticism on everything, and you have disdain, or you push them away. That's how you love, and you're gonna tell me you're good at love?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really tough thing when people have to look. Here's the thing I realize with people, like, I'm a good dad, I'm a good mom, I'm a good wife, I'm a good husband, I'm a good person. One thing I learned about people who are really good at these things, they don't have to sell it.
That's absolutely correct.
Good people don't have to convince you they're a good person. They just are good. And I don't have to tell you that.
Yeah.
But people I've learned who are not good need to sell that shit to you. I'm a good person. I'm really a good person. I'm like, well, are you convincing me or you?
Yeah. When a UFC fighter is at a bar, he doesn't advertise that he's a fighter. He doesn't need to. He's got nothing to prove, and I think it's the same with, when your family's thriving and your home is a place that your kids and your family and your friends want to be at, like that's how you know you did a good job. I mean, they're going to give it back to you, and it goes right back to that conversation of like, those who give just to give. It's like, man, you're going to get that. You're going to get that returned fivefold every time. It happens every time, and it's kind of undeniable. I'm sure Harvey, you can speak to that with your community. It's like, all these guys, they're a lot of them are on the younger side over in Kings, and they've never had that example. Like mom's working, dad's working, everybody's just performance, status, validation, and a lot of the younger guys had, a lot more of the social media. They were a little bit more, isolated as far as their communities and personal interactions, and I think they're doing the best they can, but they're hungry for something because they realize, like, man, what we're doing is not working. This can't be the system.
And they're angry about it.
They should be.
They're very angry. That's why so many young kids latched on to Andrew Tate, because they're angry. They're angry, and he has a lot of the results that I'm looking for. And no one else is offering me help. No one else is coming to me with solutions. No one else is saying, "Hey, bud, this is how you do this." But here's this guy. He looks strong. He's a fighter. He's got money. He's got girls. He's got all these things that I desire, and he wants to help me. There's such a void. Like, we talk about it all the time, right? There's no competition in this space.
No.
There is a sea of hundreds of millions, billions of men that are hurting right now. They're lost. They feel like they have no purpose. They feel like they're struggling to find a reason just to go another day, man. And not only that, there's no appreciation for the struggles or the things that they have had to go through to build any of the life that they have. Like, they're just getting shit on constantly. Like, nothing's ever good enough. They're the reason for everyone else's problems, right? They can't win. They can't win. That's how they view it. It's very much like, if I do this, like, everyone hates me. And if I do this, like, I hate myself. They don't see a good answer.
There's a no-win scenario. This is why, for them to become good men, they need men. Men need men. And and that's in two different ways. They mean, like, I need it as a mentor and somebody who can show me how to do it. And then men need each other to go, like, that's where the empathy and the connection and the admiration of, like, hey, I'm doing the same thing you're doing. Well done, dude. I appreciate what you're doing. And so leaders usually don't get empathy. So the only way they get empathy is from other leaders. And so men need to be around other men to go, hey, I can give you empathy. I'm doing the same job that you are. But people who aren't doing that job don't give leadership empathy.
Yes.
And that's why I think there's a subconscious hierarchy built into humanity on that one. But Yeah, it's really tough to watch your young guys because they trickle over into our group too, and you get the young guys that come in, and I'm like, dude, you've never even been around a good man before, have you? They're like, I really haven't. They're like, I've never actually seen one, and I'm like, keep hanging with the boys here, keep hanging with the guys, because you just inherited 20 new good dads.
Absolutely.
You know, a strange question a lot of them ask is, how do I cope with this?
It's because they're taught they have to
Yes,
cope instead of learn how to be competent.
that's the
It's very like it's like I feel like I'm not coping correctly. No, 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 no. No, you're missing it, bud. Like you're not supposed to cope.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to find a way to feel better. You're supposed to find a way to be better. And I guarantee
yes,
when you start becoming better, you're gonna feel a lot better about everything that's going on in your life.
one
Yes,
hundred percent.
that was well said. It's not about trying to feel better. It's about trying to be
Well, and
better.
what I
But
noticed is when they come in, and even with just the slightest bit of like direction, and you build them up and say, get back out there and kick today's ass, dude, they thrive. They're brilliant. They're smart. They're on it. It's like, but they've just never seen anything modeled, and they're like, man, this world it's got a lot going on, and I'm not sure where I fit in.
well, they're still measured to the highest level of accountability and expectation without ever seeing an example.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is an impossibility. They have to try to be something they've never seen before, and they're held accountable to being able to be successful when they've never even seen someone do it.
Yeah.
And so they have, like, you said, your Andrew Tates or your social media influencers who really are giving misdirection as a point to say you should pay me high tickets so I can give you the opportunity to do what I do, which is offer very little to really help people. It's mostly just to serve myself. And like, well, I want to be worshipped too. So how do I make it so I get worshipped like you do?
Give to
It's
me.
like, well, it's going to cost you your fucking soul. So go
Yeah.
ahead and pay a high ticket for it.
Give to me so I can take from you. It's ironic.
And then maybe you can have what I have, but they won't.
No guarantees.
There's guarantee. It's just not going to be that. It's not going to be on the disclaimer what happens. It's tough. It's tough. Now there's some sad stuff that we've seen on that one, but now some pretty hard stuff to watch what happens. These young guys need direction.
Yeah.
And here's another thing I want to go back to is I have had a lot of healthy men's like group experts. I've had them. I just had Gavin Top on the other day. He does more of a fight club system. He's great. That had what's the guy with the tattoos? Help me. Tim
Tim Arago.
Arago. He was on.
Yeah,
Tim's
he's
great.
great.
Arago's a beast.
There's a lot of guys who come on. There's people that come on. And I'm like, I don't think that you're legit. I don't think you really do it. There's some men's groups experts that I've seen that are like, you are not. You've never really done it. But that's why I like Tim, because like I would watch Tim Arago's content, and I hope he watches this. And I didn't like his content at first because he would talk about stoicism and then be screaming into the camera. I'm like, I don't think this is stoicism. But I would I had my own judgments because of the way it is. But then I got to meet him, and when I got to meet Tim and see like, have you really done that? I'm like, he and I both recognize you both reek of sulfur. I'm like, you've been in hell. You actually done it. And I realized through our conversation, he was speaking from true grit and experience, not from, ideals and certification. He was talking from a competency that he really has. And so that was an honor that I had with him, Sven Erlandson, people who have really gone through the trials. And so it was really good. At Dwayne, we got to hang out at Dwayne Knoll's place. When you see guys who you actually walked the walk, and it's not just the guys who talk the talk. The guys who have actually walked it when we talk to each other are like, we are not competition. We can't get to enough guys. JR and I, we both have communities that just work together. There is no element of us that'll ever be competition, because even if we maxed out our capacity, we still couldn't even get to 1% of the guys that need help. It's impossible. So even if we put all of our men's groups together to create the ultra megazord Voltron of men's groups, like, we still combined would be lucky if we got 5% of the population.
Yeah. Tim Arrigo had one of my favorite quotes ever in a podcast, and it was, stop trying to save your marriage and become undeniable as a man.
He's right.
And at the time, I was like, what the fuck kind of like red pill is that? But then you think about that and you're like, you know what? Like, if I just take care of my shit if I'm leading, if I'm doing all the things, like everything is going to get better. He's right.
Yes. My version of the same quote is the si vis pacem para bellum. If you want peace, prepare for war. But I take it in a very different way. If you are a formidable man because you train in mind, heart, body, and spirit, if you train in every element of yourself is proficient because I put the time in to have a solid mind, to have a purpose and a spirit that I know that I'm going in a direction that is authentic, true, and good. If my heart is open and I can be vulnerable and strong, and this is where we talked about something we can get into later, because we were talking about polarization for masculine and feminine. I have a very different view, which I think is fucking right, by the way. So we can crack that in a moment. But if you work on every element of being like physically strong, mentally strong, emotionally strong, spiritually strong, know thyself, authentic, if you're solid, Stacks, you've been around me long enough. How many people, it doesn't matter because you see me talk with doctors and PhDs and authors and experts in all fields. How hard do people just come after me, like face to face?
Never.
Never. Why?
Well, because you're not threatening.
But I'm formidable.
Yeah, and it's like I think a lot of people they fall into the trap of like, ooh, I can get this gotcha on a guy like Rick, or a guy like JR, and it's like you guys see through bullshit so quickly. And you're like, are you okay? Why are you doing that? Like, I know you don't hate me. It's like something I said probably triggered you, but like I'm undeniable. Like there is nothing that you're gonna get me with.
Well, even that, they don't come at me like that because they may not like me, but they don't come aggressive this way. And I think this is an important thing for the guys as the undeniable male is let's just simplify this down. Let's say anybody out there has like let's say JR is the UFC champion 3 times in a row. Like he's like,
I like this idea.
yeah, he's world champ. Like, and you've seen him fight. He's fucking gnarly. He's pound for pound one of the toughest dudes on earth. And then you have a problem with him. Well, are you going to go up to this guy who you know is one of the toughest men in the world? He fights the toughest men in the world and just makes them look like they're new at the game. He is that badass. What attitude or energy are you going to approach this guy if you have a disagreement with him? You're going to go, what's up, bitch? I got a fucking problem with you, bitch, and push him and knock his drink out of his hand and touch his face with your middle finger? Like, you're probably not. You're going to come at this one dude, you're going to come diplomatic. You go, hey, man, I just wanted to bring it to your attention that, it was kind of rough the way that you handled this. And I would ask you, requestfully to be cooler about this in the future in respect to like our kids or respect to our family. You would be fucking diplomatic. Why? Because if it got physical, he's going to make you look like a child and you don't want that. Like, I don't want that to go that direction. So because he's formidable, undeniable, and prepared, I'm going to be diplomatic to this guy because I don't want him to put me to sleep in front of my girl. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, what it does is it makes me want like, you know what? Like, I want that guy on my team. Like, that's the
Yes.
guy I want right there.
But if you prepare mind, heart, body, spirit, you're formidable in every category. I know thyself. I'm trained. I know how to handle these conversations. I know how to handle these situations. Well, people come far more diplomatic to that guy. But if a guy is very weak mind, he's easy to trick, easy to convince, easy to get him to negotiate his authenticity, somebody who will turn his back on others, or somebody who would not stand up for himself, weak in heart, and somebody who's emotionally unstable and he's reactive and jumpy and just he's a scaredy cat and doesn't handle his emotions very well at all, and he just has outbursts. And then you have a guy with no purpose, a guy with no direction, a guy with no drive, a guy with no ambition, somebody who has no part of them is authentic and true. They don't have any of that. Like, it's going to be a guy who is very, very weak, very holds himself in weak posture, doesn't take care of his body in any way. He's skin and bones, and just, you can see there's nothing to fear from the formidability of this person's physical stature. These guys don't get love. They don't. They're treated very, very poorly. And this is an element of things that are each one of those categories I talked about is a controllable. These are a skill or a practice that you can develop with repetition to improve, unless you put no effort into becoming a person who's prepared. And if you have no preparation for, any type of conflict or difficulty or obstacle or anything that's going to be hard for you, you're going to be somebody people do not respect, somebody do not care about, and somebody you do not love. And these weak men are bullied by men because weakness is something you cannot trust. And weak men are bullied by women because a weak man won't ever be somebody they can trust or believe would have their safety, security, or best interest in heart. And so you're easy to manipulate, easy to take advantage of. And it's somebody who won't be respected or loved because, well, they'll just compromise their authenticity for somebody else's emotions.
Yeah, and
And
that's a tough statement to hear. It really is.
it's really sad because a lot of us, and I know you'll probably, it's resonating with you, right? We were taught to be weak.
Damn.
We were taught to be weak, and even so much so that we believed it would get us the result we're looking for.
Because that would be good. You would be good if you were weak.
Yes.
Yes, us being weak was good, and it would lead to us, because we believed it was the right thing to do, right? If in your moral compass, your beliefs, like, this is correct, I do life this way, and if I'm a good person, I'll have a good life, right? That makes sense. If I'm a good person and I'm kind to others, then I'll be rewarded by God, by other people, right? Everybody likes that person. That makes sense in our heads. And then you get, 25, 30 years down that track, and you're like, why aren't I seeing the good life? Where's the good life at? Like, it's not happening. Everyone is treating me like shit. My relationship is falling apart. She's cheating on me. My bosses abuse me. I'm overworked and underpaid. It's like all of the nonsense just starts stacking up until hopefully we experience enough pain to realize, like, this isn't the way.
Yeah.
It's sad. Sad's the right word.
It's so sad, man.
It's sad's the right word. The reason why it's sad is because guys that are taught to be weak train the people that are with them to hurt them.
Yeah.
Like, they teach them to. It didn't start that way, because I think women measure a man off of his potential. And then once a man then who's a weak man will get the girl, his complacency would start creating a whole new level of catastrophe. And that means that they take their foot off the gas, and the women will go, you're not doing anything towards potential. And they'll start training that woman to treat that man a certain way. They'll treat him like, hey, abuse me, be mean to me, because I'm not somebody who's worth respecting. I don't respect myself. And it's often, would you guys say like a majority of the guys who go into this nice guy or weak camp would be considered people pleasers? Would you say it's a common thing in that camp?
I would say so.
100%.
Yeah.
Isn't it ironic then with these stories how people pleasers are attracted to very unpleasant people?
Yeah, it is. And the
Are they?
problem I had with this system, sorry, JR, but the problem I had with this system is, like, you spend so much time convincing yourself, like, hey, I am good, I'm doing the right thing, while the whole time you're not doing what's right, but you've been told and you've been trained that it is. And then when it doesn't work and it fails you over and over again, you're like, man, what is wrong with me? It internalizes. And so it teaches you to not hate or not, maybe not hate, but to, like, not reject the system, but to just take it internally. And then it turns into shame. It's like, why am I so fucked up that,
The belief that we latch on to is, I guess I'm not doing it good enough.
there you go.
I guess I'm not working hard enough. I need to do more of this. Right? And my question is also, do people pleasers attract unpleasant people? Or I believe a piece of it, especially with our ladies, we create unpleasant people.
Yes. You train them.
Right? Like we actually create the monster ourselves by, just letting them know, like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm very loyal. We are loyal to a fault.
Which is funny because, like, you see the behavior for the nice guy element of it. Loyal to who?
not to ourselves.
No, so you'll definitely lie to yourself all damn day. So loyal to who? And this is where this almost like a new definition of loyalty.
Yeah.
Anyone who accepts us.
So I'm loyal to you as long as you accept me, but I won't be me to make sure that you keep accepting me. So I'm going to keep lying to you by doing anything that you want at the sacrifice of my authenticity or my own truth of accountability. I'll compromise me in any way for you to make sure that you keep approving of me, because that's loyalty. I'll destroy me to make you happy. Loyalty.
I've been a part of many different men's groups and 12 steps and, that kind of thing. And the common pattern that I saw was, and especially in like an infidelity sort of situation, it's like they would spend so much time just beating the guy down and just inducing this control and just taking pieces of him in punishment and you're not allowed to do this, don't think this is funny anymore, and that's just control because they're hurt and they want their partner to be hurt too, and then they find themselves unattracted to this beaten down sack of potatoes that used to be their partner. Man, this guy, he's weak. He doesn't lead. It's like, well, yeah, you beat the shit out of him when he tried. It's like, he doesn't take me on dates anymore. It's like, well, every time you went out, you accused him of fucking the waiter. You know what I mean? It's like, well, he's watching porn. It's like, yeah, you guys haven't had any form of intimacy, not even sex, in months or sometimes years. And then it's like it's so sad to watch. And these people have the best intentions, and they're constantly convincing themselves, I'm doing the right thing. And then oftentimes they double down, like maybe I'm not doing it hard enough.
Yeah. And I think it's challenging with the nice guys, right? You've experienced it, and if my wife did not encourage me through the failures of changing into this new person, it wouldn't have worked. Because in order to go from nice guy to good man, in order to learn how to start making decisions for myself, taking care of myself, leading my family, leading my marriage, I fucked it up a lot. And my wife, when I began that process, was a much better leader than me, a much better decision maker than me. So it was very difficult for us to get to a point where she could let go of control, that she could actually believe that I was going to lead us in a good direction. And really what it took was kind of her leadership crashing us into a ditch, right? That's what had to happen, right? It had to happen. Like that moment. And it turns out, I guess you're not really good at this either. But you don't like the weight and the responsibility of it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put it on me, and now I'm going to figure it out. And I just need you to bear with me as I figure this out, as I grow and make these changes, because it might be a bumpy ride. But that's how you learn. Like, you learn through the failures, through the mistakes, through taking action and getting in the game. But if she wasn't along for the ride, if she didn't relinquish that control, if she didn't believe that I could take us in a better direction, it would have never worked.
It's a tough thing to watch, the transition on these. That's hardcore for, like, you have to see that. I'm not even gonna get into it because I have an entire thing for why women aren't built for leadership. And I did it in the women's group, but I don't want to do it on the. We'll save it, guys. It's fucking gnarly. I want Andrea in on that one because I don't want this to seem like
soften the blow.
Well, it's not a women bashing thing. I think it's a women wiring thing.
Yes.
And so, women are like, well, I have a female boss and she's pretty great. I'm like, it's because somebody created a structure for her.
Mm-hmm.
She can't create structure, though. And I'll break it down because I've done it for a whole lot of things, but I'll do it on a different day. I want to jump back to this thing where you were talking about the guys who are closed out, or the women even still, guys do the feminine element of the guys who jump in the polarity element of it, the guys who start doing the girl behavior and then start also punishing women, because this is a thing too, is you see people who punish people And then when they do anything to try to find like, well, maybe I can find a solution to, you not liking to do something, maybe I can find a way to make it better for me. And then wanting to punish the person for not being happy being punished. Like you said, like something like, oh, well, I'll just make accusations, or, say, oh, because you saw somebody or pornography or whatever, you saw a thing, well, then you should be punished. It's like, but we don't have intimacy. Well, yeah, I closed you out. I locked you out. It's like, well, I'm cold and isolated and lonely. So if I do anything to make myself even slightly warm, I'll be punished for the cold that you've given me. Like, yes, I've created a punishment that you need to be happy with. And if you're not happy with my punishment, I'll punish you for not being happy for being punished. And that's love. That's marriage. That's relationship. I'm pretty sure this is probably closer to evil.
Yeah.
Most guys would agree. Most guys would, in the comment section, they would say, that's marriage.
But that sounds evil, not love.
But see,
anybody who wants to punish for punishment's sake.
yeah. And I want to challenge that statement a little bit, JR, because that's not marriage. That's what most people's experiences would be. And not to call you out, but I'm like,
it was sarcasm.
Yeah, but it's like,
I'm not saying I agree, but I would say that most guys would like.
Yeah.
You look in the comment section in a lot of the videos, and all like a majority of the guys are like, "Don't do it, boys."
That was
like,
their experience.
Don't get married because of the experience that they have, because of the hurt, the projection of their hurt.
Mm-hmm. It's, man, that's such a hard topic, man. And there's so many layers to it. And it's just nothing but irony. It's like, hey, I'm hurt, so let me hurt you to try to fix it.
The entire thing is paradox.
It's so.
That's why I said projection is ironic, because I'm hurting so bad, I'm going to hurt you in a way that I didn't like being hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's paradoxical. It's total irony. I hated the way that I was treated, and so the way that I hated to be treated is how I'm going to treat you because I hated it so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, why would you treat somebody a way you don't like to be treated? Because I can.
Yeah. And see, I remember, because I think this goes back to like one thing I used to do with my spouse is like every time she would tell me an idea she had, where my mind goes is like pessimism is kind of my default, and I'm a mind-side guy. And so in an unhealthy mind-side guy, when you give me an idea, I'm going to think of every way that it could go wrong first. That's the first train of thought I'm going to go to. Because for me, that's my form of control. I can mitigate safety and figure out if I want to invest any more thought into this or not. Connection is not even part of this. And I was training my partner, like every time she would tell me something, she was like, maybe she had a dream, like I would crush it immediately. And I'm like, man, like when I look back, I'm like, I did not even realize I was doing that. Like, that's terrible. That was how I loved.
But you were trying to control.
Mm-hmm.
That was the way you were trying to create safety. And I think it's funny that needing to control others in a relationship to feel safe is removing love to make them stay.
Yes. And I hear this all the time from guys. They'll be like, man, I was trying to connect with the wife, and I farted in front of her, and I just snapped her with the towel. And I'm like, well, that's you don't treat girls like that. Like that's how you have fun with guys and connect with the guys.
Boy.
Like you
thing.
can't.
The boys are struggling with this.
Yeah, like
they did this to our daughters.
Let's talk about this.
Yes, this is going on. It's a problem.
This is a huge, and I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah,
myself.
I was too.
In mine, whereas like I thought I could tell the same jokes to my wife as I thought I could have the same sarcasm that I have with the boys with my but that's what was modeled for me. That's what I saw. I thought that I should like push her buttons until she snaps.
Nope.
Yeah.
Because that's what was modeled for
yes.
The beard does not abide.
The beard does not abide.
No.
And you see it with the girls, right? Like you see the young boys and how you got a good example.
We've got 3 daughters, and like our middle one actually dumped a boy on this one because like they're doing a negging thing. They'll be very negative or shitty. They'll be like shitty to them. The way guys will shit on each other, they'll start shitting on the girls. This doesn't work.
Nope.
Like, and so like our daughters are all athletes. Like you've seen our daughters. Like our daughters are all athletes. They're in very good shape. And our middle one, the one who's the CNA, like this boy was with her and just kept calling her like, "You're a fat whale. You're a big fatty fat whale. You're a big girl." And she's a fucking athlete. Like, she's not a big girl. She's in great shape, probably best shape of her life in her life right now, and just keeps calling her a fat cow and a whale and stuff. And this is part of his negative humor, his joking with her. And she's like, "Dude, this isn't how you joke with girls. Like, you don't do body shaming as a point of connection. Like, this isn't cool." And so she's like, "I don't think we're a match, dude." And he's like, "Wait, what happened? Like, this is how me and my boys all talk with each other. Like, you're just not getting it. I'm just joking around with you." And it's like, you don't understand that boys can shit on each other because, like, that's how we say we like each other. But girls secretly shit on each other, not openly. And
It's
so
covert,
and
yeah.
so it yeah, and so to openly shit on a girl, they don't this is a direct assault. But, this is why the videos that are funny is like the girls will be nice to a girl's face and then secretly hate her when she leaves, or guys will be shitty to each other's face and secretly love each other when he leaves. And it's a backward system, but I gotta it really emphasize on you boys, don't use negative connection points on your girl and expect it to bloom into romance. You can't be disgusting and gross and mucky and be able to and tear her down as a point of romance. That doesn't work. And so if you're trying to just tear her down to be cool or to be funny, you're just going to tear the relationship apart. It doesn't work. It's this is pull your hair in kindergarten behavior. That's
Yeah.
Women don't like that.
Well, it goes.
Yeah, and
Go ahead, JR.
there's always truth in sarcasm too.
Oh, 100%. And it goes back to kind of where we started this conversation is it's much easier to connect through hate and through maybe some shitty half-truth jokes than it is to get to know somebody. You know what I mean? I heard a really interesting thing a while back. I was watching like guitar videos or something on YouTube, and this kid was going to play the national anthem at like a big football stadium, and he was working with like a famous guitar player, and he was like, you know, he's like, I'm not afraid to mess up. I'm afraid of becoming a meme and my
Mm,
failure just getting immortalized on the internet. And then every time somebody, has like a zinger, like there's a video of me failing in front of thousands of people.
millions.
Yeah, and it's like, man, just to hear and he was a young guy, like to hear that fear, it's like, man, that was not something that 20 years ago you ever had to worry about.
No, but it's the same thing that they are experiencing that in all areas of life. Think about, like, all right, I want to go approach this girl. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he is assaulting me.
Yeah.
He is like, there's all kinds, even right now, like you look at there's a story that just came out. The Canadian men's junior hockey team, there was 5 players, I believe there was 5 of them, and this one girl, she's unnamed, anonymous in the court case, but she goes back to the hotel room with them. They all have sex, like all of them, and then it's over, and she reports that she got raped.
Mm.
Right? Like that stuff happens. Like they're afraid to fail at that level. Like they didn't even do anything wrong. The court case goes on and like all of them are proven innocent, but they've lost their careers. Like the damage is already done. Like their lives are forever changed because of this experience that had no viable like evidence. All the stories were just not lining up. Like it was very clear that there was nothing there, but they were punished. And I'm not saying what they did was like a good thing, but like it was consensual.
There's this one for me. I think just getting back to the balance of accountability, and I think that treating women, I think that women should be treated as adults. Just hear the exact words that I used right there. I think women shouldn't be treated like stupid dogs or dumb animals. I think women should be treated like a adult, like an adult human being. That's what I think women should be treated like. And so if you deliberately do an action that's designed to fraudulently destroy somebody's life, if you make up a story And the intention behind creating the story is to ruin lives. And it works. It's a lie that you use to destroy people's lives. I do believe there should be a level of accountability of when you have somebody who takes pleasure in destroying lives, there should be some sort of a consequence for this. No different than pedophilia or rapists. I think that they should have consequence for that. I think somebody who tries to do a demolition of somebody's entire existence for fun should also have consequence for this. This is an evil person.
I think everyone should be able to agree on this,
Yeah.
but not in this specific case. Not only is no consequence to be seen yet, but she's also anonymous. How does make it make sense?
There's a lot of irony in the world going on for sure.
Well, they remove critical thinking to be able to have control. And this is where people in power stopped thinking to do just what they want. And that's really sad to watch, because now you see people, when they have these situations, go, man, even the people who protect us are just fucking liars. And so I guess I'll just kill myself.
Yeah.
And that's a real thought and a real consequence. Suicide is up almost 600%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what's the point?
And they don't answer that question. They just go, I don't see one, so there must not be one. So I guess that's it.
I have
We've created hopelessness.
Yeah. I have a theory on this modern anxiety epidemic, and my theory is anxiety is kind of your body's warning system to tell you, like, hey, you're doing something that's going against your code. You're doing something.
That's fear, not anxiety.
Am I on the wrong track?
No, it's just if we use the wrong label. It's kind of like a PTSD and CPTSD thing. One of them is beatable. The other one is impossible. It's like, we'll use the right label, or else we're using impossible for something that's possible. So I think that's saying, like, hey, there's a warning system. Why am I afraid, or why am I alert, or why am I worried about something? Well, that's fear. And fear is designed to make it so you can be alert to danger. But in a world without danger, the alert system starts becoming something very different, and we start being scared of taxes or paying a bill or rejection, which isn't danger. And so now we don't know how to deal with whether it's danger or if it's just an obstacle. And so then you start having a warning system go off at the wrong time. So I would agree with the way you're explaining is fear. Anxiety is going to be maybe this multiplied.
Yeah, true. And kind of where I was wanting to lead that, and I never mind like a correction or if I'm getting off track, because man, I'm learning all the time. Like I don't know shit, but it just seems like everybody, they're participating in a lot of hatred, in a lot of just complacency, in a lot of just compromising authenticity and compromising values, and going against this idea of who they are called to be, for one, and who they want to be. And then they have this feeling like something is wrong. I don't know what's wrong. Like maybe I'll try therapy. And then, you spend hours and thousands of dollars with some therapist, like, oh, well, maybe your dad was mean to you. I don't know. It's like, no, it's like, like you say, it's like you turn your dreamer off. You're not pursuing any passion. You're not.
In this example, it's not your dreamer. It's you compromised your authenticity, which means you started to lie to yourself, and your soul knows it. Like you may have gotten away with it from a person. You may not have gotten caught in your lie from another person, or your persona, your mask you wear, or the makeup you wear, or the outfit you chose, or the brands you're repping. You may have gotten away with it with others, but your soul knows you fucked your shit.
Yeah.
You lied. You're lying to you. And then knows that you got what you got because you're a liar. And that imposter syndrome starts to creep up on you, and that goes more into denial and identity, and it starts turning into when you actually killed a part of yourself that was actually good to get something substantially less. And when you start doing self-exploitation to try to get something like money or fame or power or attention or attraction or belonging, when you start destroying something unique and beautiful and authentic to get something far, far less, this is why I believe that self-exploitation is humanity's loudest sadness.
Man, that's such a better way to explain it, into just really narrowing that, because that's what I see all the time. It's like, it's like everybody's just cutting their hand off, then wondering why they're not receiving what they covertly expected from doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you just look at, you look at this pandemic of OnlyFans girls. They're calling self-exploitation. which is the greatest sadness,
Their business.
Yeah.
empowerment,
Yeah. Strength.
freedom.
They're a slave to their own insecurity or inadequacies. They'll exploit something that would be precious, unique, and beautiful for $4.99 a month.
Yeah, and it's like it's just the lowest form that you could go. It's like you're
It's sad. It's sad. Yeah, it's a sad thing.
yeah. It
It's not beautiful. It's not sexy. It's not cool.
yeah.
And the people who perpetuate, now you start getting into your hypergamy pyramid. It's going to be the lower half guys who would never have access to a girl who looks like this or is like this, whatever the criteria you would use for beauty or attraction, but they'd never have access to this. And so now I can pay you to do what I want. It's a false sense of control that you can have a woman who you would never have a chance with otherwise. Well, you can start using whatever the made up currency they have. They have like a coins or tokens or whatever systems they use. And so whatever it is that they do, I can now send you money to get you to do behavior that I would want you to do. Take your top off or use a item on yourself or whatever it would be. You can now have control over somebody with money, and that person will exploit themselves and give you control for money, thinking they're the one taking advantage of you while you think you're the one taking advantage of them. And this is somehow good. That's my business.
Yeah.
These price tags are going to really come back later. I think the next generation is going to really they're really going to struggle because imagine being in 7th or 8th grade and people can just look up your mom's porn.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't imagine, man.
Just wait. This is going to be a real damn thing. You're going to have
it's
multiple.
already real.
Yeah, it's
already happening right now.
There's
Think about the little brothers.
Yeah,
like it's happening right now. And dude, the most recent like thing that I've discovered with that is because of the type of content I make, going kind of into the darker side of things to find these guys who they're not watching motivational content. They're watching like really depressing, like really dark stuff a lot of times. So I'll create content like that to find them and bring them into the community and shed light on the situations and give them hope. They're the only girls fans figured out that niche of content exists. So I would watch them like duplicate my videos in their own way to find that same guy because he is their audience. Like he is their a broken down, hurting, struggling, weak guy that needs help. And then in their bio, they'll put like men's mental health advocate. Click the spicy link here to make you feel better. I'm just like, this is so fucked.
It's very predatory.
Yes, the bottom feeder element of it. They take advantage of the ones who are down.
Well, and
yes, and
man,
call it helping.
And it just kind of goes back to what you just said, like the lies that we're selling ourselves on a daily basis. They have a price tag that we never can anticipate. Like they cost so much, dude.
It is not free. It's painful. It sucks because the issue with deceit is, especially with beautiful women, is it works. I don't have to be better in any way, shape, or form. I don't have to actually do anything to be good. I can just get what I want by lying. And it works because they're pretty. And so they'll get away with it. Pretty privilege is a real thing. I wish it wasn't, but it is. Attractive people can get away with shit that unattractive people won't. And that's just a reality of society. It's just the way that we live. And so it is a really tough thing to watch people who are doing exploitation as their principal commerce. Their principal product is exploitation of themselves and of others. And it is we're going to watch this go way worse. It's going to get way worse. And this is where you've watched documentaries of like, women after porn, and after they were porn stars and like, how's their life now? And like the life is a struggle. Like they really struggle with a lot of elements of themselves because of what they've done or what they've been through. And these are really tough things that you're going to see this on probably a mass scale. And you're seeing the men and women in these areas, this is going to be like the less healthy areas. You're going to watch entire crops of humanity get wiped the fuck out because of this just self-destruction and self-mutilation or self-exploitation. And they're trading for what? You know, they're doing a thing where they're exchanging, again, something good, something sacred, something unique, something that's just them. They're exchanging this for like money, something that's you think this is going to be something, like it's just paper. You're actually not a real thing. And they don't understand that they're exchanging this, and they're starting to actually, like you said, call it empowerment. And this is where you start watching that they're starting to create new rules to change the judgments of their own sin. And so the sin and the self-punishment that they create by betraying themselves, and the abuse of themselves that they do, that they betray, it's interesting to watch the justification of self-exploitation as a good thing, and deceiving ourselves to say that we love our betrayal of ourselves.
Yeah.
I actually love the betrayal of me. And I've done this betrayal of myself for goodness and of anything that's connected to God. I've betrayed all of that for something far, 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 far less.
Yeah.
And I call that empowerment.
Well, and it's not just even like the women creating it. Like I know for me, like I got sucked into that as the my preferred distraction or vice of choice. And I remember like when I was sick of it, and I was trying to get out of that and break that cycle. The focus of that area was very wrong. And I think this is where a lot of guys are at, because this is what I experience in a lot of like men's group and self help and a lot of that things. It's like they tend to just focus on the symptom rather than kind of understanding what does this guy need, you know. And for me, like kind of like we've talked about this conversation, like I never really kind of learned how to be an adult. And that sounds so shitty, and it's kind of embarrassing to say, but it's like, man, like nobody showed me how to handle finances. Nobody showed me how to lead. Nobody showed me how to do these things, how to, like we were talking about earlier with like how to treat and connect with women. You know, like I had no examples for any of these things, and I was basically raised by a television and my peers. And
Yeah.
when I joined your community, that was one thing. I was like, man, like this is how people function. This is how men work together. This is how men do this. Oh, this is good etiquette. Oh, wow, man. I had that I just watched that guy beat that in real time. Like that's all I got to do that. And once, dude, once that clicked, all of that stuff just dropped like a fly. You know, it's like, and then we've got all these labels for everything. You know, I hear a lot of diagnoses when guys come in, they're like, man, you know, I'm anxious attachment, or my wife's this, and I got this, and all these numbers and letters. I'm like, dude, like, I don't think you have any of that. Like, you know, what do you need? Like, how are you today? And you learn some tools and you hang out. These guys are like, oh, yeah, I don't have any of that. Like, that was all nonsense.
Dude, yeah, it's so many of the programs out there. I think they focus. You talked about the symptoms, and I think they focus so much on like hating yourself for doing this behavior or hating that behavior instead of loving yourself and loving and becoming the person who doesn't need to do that behavior. You know, it's so backwards. It's so backwards. It's fueled by hate. Like, and a lot of guys do that. Like, I think most guys I encounter use a self hate and shame system to motivate them to become better. I did myself.
I've never seen a shame system used for motivation.
Well,
I don't see how it's been effective. I've never seen it effectively used for motivation.
Not
yeah, I've
long
tried. It
term.
doesn't work.
I can't see how it works. I don't see shame for anything except for making something useful useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like in order for that system to be at play, you have to convince yourself of these lies that you know aren't true. You have to compromise authenticity. You have to compromise in all of these areas that you know you shouldn't, but you're in this place in your life to where you're very confused and you're kind of desperate. It's like, well, dude, I'll try anything, man. Like, fuck it. You want my leg? You want my toes? Like, what part do I need to cut off just so I don't feel this way anymore? And there is a
Mhm.
lot of people out there with programs and YouTube channels and TikToks and, you name it. And they've all got something that they're selling that you need.
Well, they try to create a dependency off of your disorder. And like, oh, you have a disorder. That's why you need my program. And I'm like, this is why the Warriors Way program and the JR we built Crown and Shield together. This is why we build these programs, because good psychology doesn't create dependency. And like, put it on a billboard. Like, if you have a thing that you need to work through and you need me for years to be able to keep just working through it, I'm not good at my job. And any therapist or any social worker or anybody who's working with people who are working directly with you as a counselor or a psychiatrist or whatever, they're working with you for years and can't get past this issue. You're not good at your job. AI is going to replace you first, because like, you're not good at this. Good psychology doesn't create dependency. Now I'm talking about the 97%, not the ones who are the 3% who are like, they're clinically destroyed. They can't help anyone like this. But the ones who are like, these people just have stuff, like they have to work through grief, or they have to work through how they're lost, or they have to rebuild an element of their belief system that got damaged. Like, this doesn't take decades to do. You've seen us do this in hours.
Oh,
This
dude.
doesn't take a lot of time. If you're good at what you're doing, it'll make it so that person is now competent enough to do it themselves. And so instead of going into depression, they can go into prevention. Oh, I caught myself spiraling. Let me go ahead and work through my grief, or work through whatever the shame system that's stacking on me, to remove that so I don't end up in depression. Now I can do prevention before you need an intervention. This is good psychology. And this is why the next book that I've got, The Map Out of Hell, that's coming out soon, that one's going to get into all the solutions that we found for this, to make sure you're not using a shame stack to make it so that your identity is, I'm a piece of fucking shit. Well, that's what most guys come in here doing. It's not true. It's a belief system that is corrupted by a lie that you believed. And once you can identify the lie and remove that element, there is no need to shame you anymore.
Absolutely, man. And I'll tell you, I've had the honor and the privilege to go through this with so many guys, and to watch how quickly, once you just plant that seed, like, hey, you don't have to use that system, right? They're like, I don't. It's like, no. Like, why don't you just do this? Is that what you want to do? They're like, no. Like, okay. And dude, days. I've seen people, they're struggling with things for 20 years. They're done with it in a week. And all it
Mm-hmm.
took was just, hey, I believe in you.
Yeah.
That's all it takes,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that come to mind when you did that like 7-day beat depression crash course. They're
Yeah.
like, dude, I've been in therapy for 8 years. And yeah, we just beat this in 2 days,
Yeah.
1 day.
Yeah.
What the hell? Where has this been?
Yeah, I'll be doing another one of those soon too, because like, I took 10 guys. I said, give me 10 guys who are in severe depression. And most of them were out by day 3. By day 4 and 5, we were just fine tuning elements and practicing.
And they're different people now.
Yeah, all of them. And a lot of those guys, I've recorded all of it too. It's all documented on how quickly it took guys who were in 10 years, like depression, severe apathy, don't leave the house, don't want to get out of bed, like guys who hate themselves. And even like Gary or Scott,
Mm-hmm.
or a few of these guys who like, in just they're like, by day 2, I was already out of it. You showed me what I had to do. And I was like, oh, that's how I get out. And then they're like, it changed everything. Every view, every belief I had after that was different. And I'm like, we remove the roots so you don't have to worry about pruning it all the way down and
Yes.
managing and coping and medicating. We just tear the roots out. And then you're like, okay, now how's it look? You're like, well, now there's room to grow here. I'm like, let's get rid of the weeds.
Yeah, I loved when you and Andrew used to do. I think you used to live stream some of the heart side stuff. Man,
We're going back to
there
that. We're doing
was,
it on our Facebook group. We're going to
yeah,
start doing that again,
and
in the Battlefield of the Mind
it
group.
was so fun to watch because like the first time you would see couples and they would always come back, and you would see the first night all the ladies were like, fuck Rick, I do not like that guy. Like, oh
Mhm.
no, 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 no. And then they come back, and then like a week, 2 later, like I'm hearing her spouse, because like on the call, and he's like, dude, he's like, my marriage is doing great. Like we are thriving. Like we're having fun. The intimacy is back, and it's like, holy shit! Like that happened quickly.
Mhm.
And it's so fun to watch because I think a lot of people, like we talked about, they get in that sense of complacency, and they've adapted this system that they don't even necessarily believe in, but they're obligated to use. It's like, well, this is what I was taught, so I have to use it. And they get
Yeah.
resentful when they hear people like you or people like JR or, guys like Dwayne or Tim just say, hey, fuck your system.
Yes.
And they're like, what? It's like, yeah, fuck it. It doesn't work. It's failed you time and time again. Get rid of it.
Yeah, and the foundation is built on lies and control.
Yeah.
Beliefs that aren't
can you
yours.
go into that? Like explain like why shame has like no value. Like there's no good thing that can come from it.
Yeah. No, so whenever we look at the difference, because people mix up guilt and shame often, and so like I'm very big on the difference between guilt and shame. And a lot of people will think they know the difference, but I'll make it very simple for anybody listening. Guilt is feeling bad for something you did or didn't do. That's like, oh, I should have done that, or oh, I didn't do that, or I could have done better. Like guilt is feeling bad for something that you could have, should have, would have done differently, right? Um, Shame is feeling bad for what you are. And these are not the same things. One is a behavior and the other one is an identity. And so when you look at behavior things, I think that guilt is really good. I think anybody who's got like guilt, I'm like, good, we can use guilt. Because with guilt, I can go, oh man, I should have done it this way. Or, oh man, if I could do that again, I would do it this way. I'm like, great. That means you learned something. You leveled up. Next time, do it that way. You're immediately a better person. You win. So that means feeling guilty that you did something fucked up and then you learn not to do it that way anymore. You instantaneously leveled up into a better person. You learned, you grew, and you don't have to feel bad for learning. You don't have to do that. Guilt is good. Shame, though, shame is when I didn't do something the way I thought I could have, would have, should have done it, and I'm useless. I'm a piece of shit. I'm garbage. I don't deserve to be loved. I'm unworthy. I am, I am, I am. And I track down the I am statements, and I'm like, damn, you're beating the hell out of yourself. And I'm like, how do you get stronger when you beat the hell out of yourself? It's like if I hurt me, how does that make me heal? How, if I'm tearing me down, how does that help me grow? And it's a contradictory system if you're ever trying to do something better, if you use a system that makes you worse. It's like watering the plants with bleach and wondering why they keep withering. It's like, well, that kills plants. It's like, yeah, but it cleans floors. It's like, you're not cleaning floors, you're trying to grow plants, and so because you're trying to grow and you're using something that kills, I don't think that shame is a useful system. And it comes from doubt, by the way. And so when I do my doubt trainings, doubt attacks your soul, it attacks your spirit. It's a spirit side attack. And so it doesn't attack what you're trying to do, which it looks like it does for motivation. And in many cases it does, but it attacks who you are. And that's where the core root of shame starts to take root on you. And once you get shame involved instead of doubt, then you start self-manufacturing your own self-hatred. And once you can self-manufacture, you don't need outside sources to destroy yourself. You can do it all on your own. Once you do that, then you start stacking the weight of your own self-hatred on top of you until you're holding the weight of the world. Well, as soon as you're Atlas and you've got the planet on your back, it's going to be really difficult to get to the bathroom because it's too much weight on you. And it's emotional and spiritual weight. It hurts. And people can't see that. And so it may look like you're just fucking lazy, which then goes into the amplification of knowing that I should be doing more. I should be doing more. I should be doing more, but I can't move with all the weight of this self-stacked shame on my shoulders. And so now I'll start feeling like I'm not good enough. These people are all going to be relying on me and I can't do anything about it. And then you start stacking the anxiety on top of depression at the same time. And now you're living in a true whirlwind of hell. Both are beatable, but if you do it all alone, it's like trying to climb or ice skate uphill. Like you're going to keep sliding down. It's very difficult to do on your own.
A very heavy and present system that everybody's using. And it's a shame system.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we're convincing ourselves that it works.
It does work to destroy you.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's sad. It really
That's
is.
the only thing I've ever seen it do is that it's a weed killer. It's just something that stops things from
That
growing.
was one thing I caught on, like, because I had no idea about any form of like improvement until I started kind of investing in myself and just getting curious about becoming better and learning these tactics, and like becoming sober and things like that pretty young. And I was really thrown off when I first got into these environments, because there was these rooms full of men, and nothing against them, there's no attack or no judgment here, but it's like, you'd go around the room and these men say, hi, I'm Bob, I am an alcoholic, without this constant me shaming myself and constantly telling this story about how I would be nothing without this group, and I would be nothing without my recovery. And I'm watching this, I'm like, dude, that that is not good. Like, I think you're more than you're selling yourself off of. This foundation does not seem correct.
Well, it sounds like it replaced one addiction with another.
Yes.
So a dependency that you were using to try to distract yourself from a hurt you couldn't deal with is now a new dependency on a group that helps keep the hurt at bay. It's a different type of distraction. And to use your identity to say that I am something is something to be very, very cautious and aware of. It's the one thing with AA immediately I don't agree with. Because somebody who stopped doing a behavior because they removed the core part of hate or hurt in themselves, they grieved through or went through whatever it was they were trying to distract from alcohol or from any type of drugs or medication or any type of distraction behavior. If you just replaced one distraction or one vice with another distraction, another vice, so I need my group, I need my group, I need my group, you just created a whole nother dependency and you called it healthy.
Yeah.
But really, it's another form of the same conversation as addictive talk. Well, I can stop anytime I want, and I don't really need it, but like I still go every day. And your identity is still routed in I am something. Instead, the more appropriate way to say it would be, "Hi, my name is Rick. I used to not know how to grieve through my losses, and so I used to drink to get away from my pain. But now I know how to grieve, and so I no longer need alcohol to cope with the things that I know how to grieve through."
Absolutely.
That's my real identity. Is it a little bit longer of a business card? Yeah.
But
it's more accurate.
But it's true.
And it's empowering. And I no longer have dependency because I choose what to do. I'm not trying to manage or cope with something I haven't really done.
Absolutely. And I'll kind of mirror that into something JR was talking about earlier. Like, you see this in like the fitness world. There's these people, they're extremely fit, but man, like, they're doing it for wrong reasons. And it becomes their addiction, it becomes their vice, and they're constantly chasing this image of something that it's never going to be obtainable.
Well, maybe this is where it's a little different because yes, there are distraction elements where people go into extreme fitness and they'll spend like 8 hours a day in the gym to try to get away from their pain, and it looks like health from the outside in. It's the same thing that can be said for workaholics.
Sure. Yeah.
People who work all damn day. It looks like a guy who's just all about making sure he can provide for his family or take care of his stuff, but really he's just trying to stay busy to not get caught up in his own demons. If he doesn't know how to fight his darkness, he's going to try and stay busy in the light.
Yeah.
It looks from the outside, the extreme fitness guy or gal or the extreme workaholic seems like they're doing something that's outside externally seems productive, or like they're doing something that's they're really going for their goals. But really, it's another form of addiction. It just looks healthy from the outside, and it isn't judged as harshly as one that's clearly destructive.
Yeah. I think the more intelligent you are, the easier it becomes to justify your own nonsense.
I don't know if that's true. I think that both are really good at it.
As I say, man, because I got clever at mine. I'm like, you know what? Like, I can get away with, eating bullshit because I've been working hard. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, you become good at coming up with these justifications to do things that it's like, oh, this isn't really going the direction, but...
Doesn't sound intelligent, does it?
Well, it comes off as intelligent. It's clever, maybe more than intelligent, but
it's one of the most fascinating things that humans can do is justification.
Yeah.
Because you can watch somebody who, like we talked about before, a person who gets pleasure from destroying others, and you can say, well, are you a good person? And they'll go like, yeah. I can sleep at night with what I do. It's like, well, don't you hurt children for pleasure? Like, yeah, that's monstrous, dude. They're like, nope, I'm a good person. Like, Oh man, don't you like to take advantage of people? Like I heard some stuff. The women's group today, there's some just true evil, and there's people in other countries. This girl was in another country, true evil. This evil motherfucker was hurting these little kids and hurting these women. And I'd be hard pressed when you see these people. You go, hey man, do you think you're a good person? And they're like, yeah, I can justify what I do. I'm a good person. And you're like, that's amazing. It's amazing that someone can do true evil and somehow in their brain convert a system that would be absolutely catastrophic if somebody ever did it to them. Well, since they're the ones doing the evil, I can have a justification of my own goodness because I never have to be on the receiving end of my own cruelty. That's amazing that the human mind can do that. You don't have to be brilliant to do this. You can be just a fucking good liar to yourself. And anyone who gaslights their own introspection can create pretty elaborate justifications. You don't have to be super smart for this. You just have to be a good fucking liar to you.
Yeah, and that's powerful. Very powerful.
It's nasty stuff out there, though. There are some people who truly are. It's not the devil getting them. They're just fucking evil fucks.
Yeah, Christians, they get to be some of my favorite ones, and I'll use like the maybe like the AA thing as an example. Like, I never heard Paul from the Bible be like, "Hi, I'm Paul. I'm a recovering Christian slayer, and now my life is just for Jesus." It's like, man, that guy slayed a lot of Christians for funsies, and like
It was his favorite.
I never saw him in an AA meeting talking about like, oh man, I wish I would have done that. It's like, nah, the dude renewed his mind and he was called and he answered the call to purpose. Like, there's nothing wrong with that guy. He's not broken. He's not, some basket case. Like, that's what it took. And I think that sometimes that we rob ourselves of our own story, because what happened to you in the trials and tribulations that you've went through that made you who you are, we forget to be grateful for those things.
Blessed are those who mourn. This is one of the Beatitudes. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. That goes into Jesus. The thing that I have in the map out of hell in this next book and in our program for the Warrior's Way stuff, we get into a big foundation of the entire business element of what we do is built on the Sermon on the Mount. And grieving is very important. And my version of grieving is growth, which means the reason you had to sin, the reason you had to fail, the reason you had to totally fuck something up, the reason you had to do things all the wrong way is to go through an element of learning and grieving to become somebody who can be more empathetic and love. And so I broke down how every phase of denial, bargaining, anger, sadness is actually a growth system, and God didn't fuck up to make it so we have to grieve in this way. It's not something to manage, medicate, or cope with. It's something that's actually designed for growth. And I break it down step by step. And so if anybody's interested in that, the book's coming out, or they can just jump into the program now and start training immediately. I think I actually just posted the information in a podcast just to give it to people because I don't think this is something I need to exclusively profit on. I think it's something that would save lives. If people knew how to effectively grieve, it really removes a vast majority of disorder disappears once you learn how to effectively work through things from the past to grow from, not just identify as. Because once you learn how to work through the acceptance in mind, heart, body, spirit of something that has already happened, then you learn how to be able to be a person who can be empathetic and compassionate and love. But if you are so filled with hurt and hate, you'll never be a person who ever grows through the pain from the past. And that just turns into your trauma is your identity. And your trauma doesn't become something that becomes purposeful to your growth or how to help others work through difficult things. And so it's one of those things that people don't know is a choice. And once you can teach that, like, your identity isn't routed in your past is how you had to grow to become who you are. And many people still fall under that flag of who you were is who I think you are, instead of being able to stand solidly on a belief system of how I am is who I am, and how I was is no longer who I am, because even I don't agree with the guy who I used to be.
Well said,
That's
man.
why I don't do that anymore.
Man, Yeah, that's a beautiful statement, man. That's so good.
It's good stuff. All right, guys. Hey, you hungry?
I'm starving.
Let's get some food. Hey, Stacks, it's been fun hanging with you. I think we just dropped like 3,000 nukes in this conversation. So it's been good hanging with you, man. Hey, you're actually on the show. You listen to all the episodes. You're actually on the show now. So it's been fun. It's
Yeah,
been
it's a
fun to have you on.
dude. It's an honor to be here, and anytime I'm down.
Cool. And then we had J.R. Harvey, King's Community. And so check out all his stuff, King's Community. He's much bigger than I am. So it's awesome.
Absolutely, I couldn't recommend these communities more, man. They're awesome guys. We do awesome work. We train hard, man.
Yeah, jump in both the communities. We do train in different ways, and we both have a very specific purpose that makes sure that we work together. Because really solid men's organizations know that we are not competition. We're all doing the same thing, and we each have a different skill or a different gift to make it so that we help that one element really get done. And so, Jr. and I work together. Join either community and see how we both work, because we do have a program we did together, which is Crown and Shield, and you get to work with both of us at the same time. If you want to do some real deep work, jump on in. Otherwise, the rest of you guys who made it to this point, holy crap, I hope you took some notes. Listen again and go dominate some days in the future here and love on your people, because we don't have that much time. So be good to each other. All right. Later, Stacks.